Hello everyone, this is going to be my review for the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I've used it several times now and I feel like I have a good feel for what I think about it. To cut to the chase, I do like it, so if that's what you are wondering, but we can get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty about it. Some of the basics are it retails for $67. It has 18 shades total, and of those, 8 of them are matte, 9 are shimmers, and we have 1 gloss. The packaging, this is the outer packaging. The lid has this nice pearly effect in the light. On the back, there's just some information about what's inside. Here is the box that it came in. We have the ingredients on the back. It has a nice weight to it. It doesn't feel super lightweight or cheap, but it also doesn't feel heavier than I would expect. It opens pretty easily, but I do need both hands to open it. It snaps shut. There are no magnets that I'm aware of. I can leave it partially open or open it all the way flat. The mirror is a good quality mirror. It takes up the entire lid and doesn't seem to be distorted at all. The total weight you get in here is 17.35 grams, so almost a gram per shade. I will insert some photos of all the swatches together. I do have a swatch video a couple videos back if you want to see each one swatched out, to kind of see what the texture's like and the opacity and things like that. Let's talk a little bit about the different types of shades here. So of the 8 mattes, a lot of them are mid-tone neutrals. So like this gray, this kind of lavender shade, this taupe, and a couple of these warmer shades. This one's kind of deep. We do have one deeper shade here and one bright shade that's more colorful, and one light kind of highlight type of shade. They all have a pretty consistent quality to them in the way that they feel and the way they apply. They have a nice smooth texture to them. They feel finely milled. They don't have like chunky particles or anything like that. They swatch evenly, not streaky. They have good color payoff, and I get almost no fallout from any of them. What I think makes this palette a little bit more interesting are the selection of shimmer shades. There's several different types of shimmers in here. We have one type that's a marbled cream, and those are Quartz, Cosmic Love, Self Love. I think Moon Magic might have been one, but I'm not entirely sure. And being creams, I wouldn't say they're truly a cream formula. They do have a creamy quality to them. They are a little bit more emollient, but they're something closer to like a powder formula, I would say. And let's see, we also have some more sparkly, shiny shades. These have larger particles and more of a higher shine to them. That's Cosmic Love, Blissful, and Moon Magic. These do have more fallout. They have the most fallout out of all of the shades in this palette. What I get from the fallout is just like sparkled dust that comes out down on my cheeks, and that's something I get from pretty much any shade that's got larger particles in it. So it's not something I would say is like an indication of the quality. It is what it is with that type of shade. Something else we have are just like your standard types of shimmers. So we have Joy and Abundance, and these are just, they have smaller particles, they're a little bit smoother, the shine is a little bit more subdued. I don't get much, if any, fallout from these two. We also have Energized and Empowered, which also have smaller particles. Energized is a little bit more unique though. This feels more creamy than a lot of the shades in the palette, and it is more reflective. And Empowered's kind of like a hybrid. It's got smaller particles, but it's in there you're also going to see some larger sparkles mixed in. I do get a little bit of dark eyeshadow fallout from this, but hardly any of the sparkles, which is interesting. They show up better on the eye than they do in a swatch. And then we have the gloss, which is Lovestone. This has like some little pigment pebbles in there. They're a little bit deeper under the surface, and it took me very many swatches to finally get down to it enough to be able to see it. It's not the most glossy thing ever. It's more like a kind of like a lip balm. I get a little bit of a sheen from it, and a very subtle pink shimmer. And there's a few larger sparkles in there. I've used this gloss several ways now. I've used it by itself on the lids. I've used it under and on top of the powder shadows. I've used it as a highlighter and on the lips. And my favorite way to use it is just by itself or on the lips. As a highlighter, I just never use cream highlighters, so it's not something that's my preference. By itself, if I use some kind of tinted primer under it, it will crease, and I'll eventually see that creasing. I'm not sure if I used it completely on bare lids if it would crease. I'll have to try that. I imagine it would eventually. Like a lot of that pigment would probably gather in the crease. That's just me guessing. I get a pretty good wear time out of it. On average, about 8 to 9 hours before I start to see noticeable creasing. Over primer. If I don't wear it with a primer, it starts to crease about 4 hours in, which is typical for me with almost every eyeshadow I wear. Anyway, that's pretty much all that I can think of to share about this palette. I am pretty happy with it. I think it was a worthwhile purchase. If you're looking at buying this, I do recommend it. So hopefully, if that answers any questions you had about this. If you do have any other questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. And I will see you in the next one.